Welcome to DisCo.Talk, where we're talking all things all abilities. I'm Lana, the development manager here at DisABILITYCO.
And I'm ALYSSA, support worker and community content creator here at DisCo.
So we're doing it.
Finally, yeah, it's happening.
Nah.
It's a little bit crazy, isn't it?
It is a little bit. What did you first think when I came to you and went, hey, so we should do a podcasty sort of show thing?
I was super excited. I remember when you first told me, I don't think it sunk in until I went home and mentioned it to my loved ones. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool thing. But yeah, super excited. During COVID, not being able to have so much community connection as we usually do. You know, we're trying our best, but I think it's a great idea to have this so we can have conversation, have people interacting and have people come on. And yeah, so I was super excited when you first told me. A bit nervous though.
Bit nervous? I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah, scale 1 to 10?
Ooh, 6.5?
Yeah, solid 8.5.
8.5 is pretty high.
Yeah, it is. That's okay. I'm chilled now, but
we can do this. We got this.
We can do it, yeah.
We got this. No, I'm excited for this. I'm, as I said, pretty nervous, but the whole disability sector and community and society we're so fortunate it has come a long way in the past few decades. And that's amazing, and I so appreciate that. But there still is so much more conversation that needs to happen to make people more comfortable
100%.
In their lives and in what they're doing. And so I really hope that this is a space where we can do that. People can share their own personal experiences and what it's like for them. For myself, as you know, my beautiful little sister has Down syndrome and she's the sunshine of our family. But it is growing up a little bit different when you have support workers in your home. And when you find good ones, they're part of your family. And we have ones that still send us Christmas cards, or they're there at birthdays and family events. And that's really special, but it's not a given that happens. But when it does happen, it's pretty special. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's super important. Growing up, my mum was a disability support worker, still is, so it's been 21 years of that. And growing up, I definitely grew up around her participants that she worked alongside with, Christmas dinners as well as just knowing them.
That's so cool.
It's been pretty cool. And seeing her enjoy her job and having relationships like that made me want to get into the whole community and sector and workforce as well. And definitely having them connections with all my clients is really important, and they voice that as well, and we talk about that quite frequently. And when you can score a good support worker, I think it's a good thing. So coming from the other side, I enjoy my job when you have them relationships and you enjoy your job. So I don't feel like I really work a day in my life, especially here at the Disability Company.
That's pretty cool. I guess for these guys, if you haven't heard of the Disability Company before, we should probably run through what we actually do here.
That might be a good idea. So we're an NDIS provider here based in Melbourne, and we do a ton of things. I work alongside some people doing some home care stuff. So we do cooking, from maybe even learning how to send emails, day-to-day stuff really. That's cool. Doing laundry and really practicing that independence. We also do community access stuff. So accessing the community safely, shopping, things like that, day-to-day stuff really, and sort of empowering people to be able to live their independent lives.
That's awesome. I mean, that's one of the key things that we really do here. That's one of the main focuses. We do have also Grattan House, which is a pretty amazing place. We came across this building in Carlton during COVID, and it's 18-bedroom place that is there for short-term accommodation and assistance. So being able to have a place that people can do a weekend away that's in the city, there's nothing like this that's ever been done. But you stayed there the other weekend, hey?
Yeah, I did. Beautiful place. The city right near Lygon Street, so we're just off Lygon Street, and such an awesome place. As a young person myself, going into the city and exploring that culture is a great thing to do, and having more accessibility out in the city is really cool. So my participants that I work alongside really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it myself. It's a beautiful place. It's almost like a mini hotel. Yeah. So it's gorgeous, and I really enjoyed my time there.
It's awesome. I think the more ability we can put to things, of course, the better. And so making things more accessible for as many people as we can, that's what we're about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're looking at doing. And then there's housing. I mean, we're getting into the housing arena now. We've got a place being built in Daniel at the moment, and we've got a few other projects in the pipeline. And that's our long-term housing. So that's going to be pretty cool to see people in there, hey?
That is really exciting. And that's where them sort of relationships we're talking about are really built in homes like that. So how awesome. And communities.
Yeah, communities. And independence. I think these places, they're going to be a variety of different setup of homes, ones where people need quite a fair bit of support, but then some where you actually don't need that much support. So you just have someone there in the background that oversees whoever's living there and helps facilitate maybe a little bit of your cooking and whatnot. But other than that, you're there to be as independent as possible. So it's a pretty exciting time.
How empowering. I love that.
What I'd love to just chat through though is just how we met. Because I just love how we met because it's just hilarious to me. But do you remember?
Somewhat, yes. I don't remember who said hi to who, but I know we met each other on our boat party at DisAbilityCo, which was our Christmas party, but it got sent back a little bit. So it was in January sometime. Yeah.
So I think it was the week I started. So I started on the Monday and then all of a sudden I'm on a boat with everyone. And I think an email had just gone out introducing myself. And then at that point it was around marketing, my role. And so I think either one of us introduced ourselves to each other. And I just remember you going, you're that marketing one. How do you do that?
I need to know how to market, yeah.
And why? Did you need to know?
So I am at the point where I'm publishing a children's book. So it's super exciting, and my children's book focuses on ability awareness. So I won't get too much into it at the moment, but that was something that sort of connected us. And I was needing advice on marketing, and Lana was there to be a helping hand.
I just remember listening to you that night and then thinking about it later and going, this person is so passionate about what they do. You're an amazing support worker, but the fact that you've gone beyond and put your time and effort and resources into something like that, it just spoke volumes to me. And that's the type of people that I know we need to be working with here. You're extremely talented, and that's what we need more of. But it's true. People that are passionate and talented at what they do, and also at things that they never thought about doing. So that's when I called you a couple of months later.
Yeah.
Was that really random?
It was. I wasn't too sure. I'm terrible with names. That's one thing with me. You know, people, I keep my circle close and obviously love community, but sometimes with names, I'm terrible. So I basically was like, Lana, disability coming. And then you explained it. And I went, yeah, that was a good conversation. Awesome. And then I got super excited, super nervous when you told me to come into the office. But all things aside, I now know so much more of our community, working from here as well as with the participants I work alongside. So it's pretty awesome.
I think it's a great balance, particularly when you're looking at facilitating community on this sort of a level where we want to get people integrated. To me, it's actually really important that you are a support worker, because you're there with our people day in, day out when you're not in here. And so there's that level of connection. It's not like the people in the office just, here speaking on the phone and just doing things and there's no connection. We're all intertwined in that way, and I love that, because that's how community should be, that across the board there's that connection and that relationship. And we have that in different ways. Like we have that close Facebook group that is literally just support workers and participants and their families, where people can connect, but not on a public forum.
Yeah.
And then also hopefully through things like this, we can get more of that connection together and that interaction.
Yeah, the community group is awesome. We have a handful of people in our community as well who are really onto things, and they love sharing what they're doing, and we love listening, and it does create that sort of community online during these times where we can't all see each other face to face. So it has been really good. I remember having a conversation with one of our onboarders, George. He'd asked me, since you've been in the office, have you learnt some things being on this side of how things work, of the
Sort of,
community.
yeah.
And I said, yeah, I think I've learnt things, but I also think talking to care coordinators, I also taught some things as well. Being someone who works alongside people face to face almost every day, I've been able to sort of share that with them, and when they have questions about certain participants that I'm working with, being able to have that relationship and talk through things about how we can help them even more. So that's been awesome.
And I think that's one of the huge focuses that we have here, that everything, it's not someone comes in and we create a plan and it's set and forget. Everything is being tweaked all the time. There's shift notes after every single shift that get reviewed and revised, and there's always an opportunity to help empower that person more. And that is something that I feel so lacking in the area, and really across the board, no matter what version of care industry that you're in, the variety of care varies as much as we are human. And so there needs to be that differentiation and that speciality put to each person, because
100%.
Each person deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think with all of this, we're committed to hopefully making this something really special for us, and something that creates conversation. We have a few things that we're going to be talking about. I think our next one, we're going to be looking at employment.
So we're wanting to have conversation around education, accessibility, even going into the work industry, as you said, and being able to have that conversation and then supply those tools and put it into action. And that's where empowering comes, and having people reach their goals as well as they can.
That'd be good. And also a big part of this is going to be sharing people's experiences and personal stories, like I mentioned. So we'll have a few different people jump in every now and again, but we're really committed to making sure that we are facilitating open and honest conversation about the things that you guys want to speak about. So make sure you leave us comments. We read absolutely everything that you put down there. So we are open to hearing from you, and where we can, we will do our absolute best to facilitate that conversation.
So no matter where you're streaming from, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. We want to hear from you, the community.